¿Qué más, gente? En el video de hoy voy a hacer un breve resumen sobre lo que se mostró en el directo de Tower of Fantasy, mostrando lo que se viene en la 2.0. Sin más rodeos, comenzamos. Punto y premios, está bien ya. Octubre 14. Un código. Primer código. Otro código. Bueno, este da fragmento y oro. El minuto 28. Ah, puta, ya quiero que llegue el IN. A una ciudad le metieron mucho empeño. Hijo de puta, otro banner que quiero. Ah. Seguridad especial.
Landscapes of Asperia, only an endless desert, scarce in water and vegetation,
Se ve
awaits
bien.
in the Vera Desert, where Meroria sits. Where there is wind, a sandstorm will certainly follow, disorienting all who are caught in it. If you encounter such weather, you should consider seeking shelter until the storm passes. Due to the long-term effects of the weather here, rock pillars are a common part of the landscape in Vera Desert. I should remind you that due to the unique structure of the rock pillars, narrow at the bottom and wide at the top, you should tread carefully if forced to climb them. Even when the weather is clear, the desert isn't as peaceful as it may seem. Quicksand lurks throughout the desert and will devour everything that crosses it.
Vea, pues se va
Always
hundiendo.
watch your step. Of course, the desert isn't completely devoid of beauty. Even I was surprised when I first laid
Tiene
eyes on
oasis.
Oasis. It's like gazing at beautiful,
Se ve
sparkling
muy,
emeralds
muy
scattered
bien.
throughout the desert. You should always keep an eye out for enemies while exploring Vera Desert, though. Common enemies like red flame lizards, horror beasts, and sandworms shouldn't be a problem for someone of your strength. But if you do come across world bosses like Magma and Rudolph, I suggest you avoid approaching them without backup. Magma is a killing machine created by malicious forces in Meroria before the Cataclysm. The Cataclysm wiped out its evil owners, so it has been wandering Vera on its own for decades. Magma is a huge and intimidating creature that looks like a crocodile, with hardened scales all over its body. Its skill in controlling wind and sand grants it the ability to create a wall and trap its enemies in battle,
Voz de
while
mundo que se
simultaneously acting as a shield
parecer
that
difícil.
protects it from external attacks. The Meroria's Department of Science and Technology bioengineered Rudolph to unravel the mystery of gray space entities. It's a fusion of a gray space entity with native Veran creatures, which the Department of Science and Technology named Rudolph, Test
Prueba
Subject
6.
6. Rudolph is an agile metal moose-like creature that often
Pues
rams
otro
and
enemigo.
tramples its enemies. Rudolph is
Hubiera
also
sido
skilled in the art of creating lightning.
Una montura muy
So,
buena.
don't even think of trying to escape once it has spotted you. Ranged attacks may give you an advantage in battle against Rudolph. Let's start with your home here in Meroria, Mirafleur Hall. It's a pleasant, oriental-style hotel situated in the busiest part of the business district. Don't
Los
worry,
negocios.
I've made long-term occupancy arrangements for you. Right next to Mirafleur Hall is Oasis Club, probably the most popular place for entertainment and relaxation in Meroria, developments, ecologies, and geological environments. It's really useful if you're trying to get to know Vera quickly. Oh, right, and entry is free. Meroria's transport network is highly advanced, and you can get anywhere by cruiser or subway. The subway is a very popular site you should consider visiting. Traveling between subway stations has become one of the most exciting bucket list items for tourists.
Muy bonito.
My favorite are the gachapon machines all
Ah,
over
no, más
Meroria,
gachapón, la
but
puta
I don't
madre.
get much of an allowance.
Uy, no.
I have to save my Mira for so long just for a single
Esto sí no
play.
me gustó.
By the way, Mira is the currency here in Meroria, and you can
Bueno,
get some
depende
by
cómo se
doing
consiga la
things
moneda,
such
¿no?
as completing missions,
Ah, bueno.
exploring Vera, and opening chests.
Es un
Take
gachapón
good care of
gratuito.
your Mira. It's essential for living in Meroria. Don't be careless like some people who drop them everywhere. I have picked up so much Mira from bushes, under tables, in ponds. Oh, I almost forgot. Lynn says that helping others is a good virtue. If you meet anyone who needs help, don't be afraid to lend a hand. You may even be surprised by what you get in return. What's next
Sí que
again?
de fondo me encanta.
Let me think. Oh, let me introduce two powerful enemies. Lynn calls them instance bosses.
Eso es
You'll get heaps of rewards if you defeat them. Let's start with the endgame instance and the puppet singer.
Vea,
They
pues.
say this boss was
What?
once a singer
Muy
droid
Ghost in
here
the
in
Shell.
Meroria. One day, a gray space
Wow.
entity invaded the droid, and then it lost control and became extremely scary. The puppet
Wow.
singer can unleash wind blades and launch dash attacks, so be careful when you go up against it. The rewards for defeating it are well worth the challenge. It's very likely to drop high-quality equipment with Volt or physical stats. The other boss you'll face is the Abyssant Weaver in the Sadness Valley instance. It's a
Sadness
gray
Valley.
space entity and a big baddie. It's really difficult to defeat. The Abyssant Weaver will summon doppelgangers in battles to supply itself with energy. You must prioritize eliminating its doppelgangers first, because the Abyssant Weaver
Buen
is
punto.
invincible while they exist. If you manage to defeat it, you're likely to be rewarded with high-quality equipment
De
with
fuego y
flame
hielo.
or frost stats.
Ya, pues.
I'm a wielder of flame power, by the way. You can bring your friends to fight these monsters together, just in case you need help. I can help too. There's a horrific place in Vera, and that's Gray Space. It's filled with abyssins. But Lynn also said it's filled with treasures, like the gold nucleus, potent omnium crystals, energy crystal dust, Mira, and much more. Treasure hunters flock to this Gray Space for these treasures. What? You want to go too, Executor? Well, it's not that easy to get in. You need to reach level 74 and have a Vera exploration progress of at least 40%.
Siento.
As for how to enter the Gray Space, let me think. There are random Gray Space fissures that appear around Vera Desert. That's your way in. Or you can use Gray Space scriptures to enter from anywhere in Vera. You're likely going to find some Gray Space scriptures when exploring Meroria. But I can't stress this enough. The abyssins inside the Gray Space are really, really terrifying. There's the Abyssant Devourer,
Uf,
the
esa
Puppet
ballena.
Singer, and the Abyssant Weaver. The
Hizo
mere
acordar
thought of
cierta
them
parte de
sends a chill
Cyberpunk.
down my spine. Just promise me you won't go in alone. If you believe you're as good as Lynn, you can attempt the 8-player co-op raid. In
Cooperativa de 8
addition to the
jugadores.
normal challenges from before, a hard mode has now been added to the raid. You will get space-time crystal fragments once you complete the challenge, and they can be used to exchange for a new combat engine. I almost forgot. There is a new instance in the raid called Battle Test Area. The final
Esa sí era la
boss,
que
Rudolph,
necesitaba.
has been introduced to you before, and he's even more terrifying here. So keep that in mind. Don't let your guard down, Executor.
Para testear todos
Whew.
los daños.
That's all for the serious stuff. Single day as long as you live in Meroria. Of course, there are other perks of living in Meroria too. Here's one. You will get milestone
La
rewards as
recompensa.
well as many
Uf.
event rewards from side by side.
10, 10.
Star Path
Bien.
navigation and login supplies just by
1200.
registering.
Por 3.
Besides the rewards, there are tons of new expansion events for everyone to participate in, like Meroria Tour, Ultimate Weapon, and Childlike Innocence. Joining the events will get you Red Nucleus and many other rewards.
Ah, muy bueno. Muy, muy bueno. ¿Hecho?